I was thinking about just the broken places in the world, and I feel like lately I have just been surrounded by a lot of them. Really good friends going through a lot of tragedy and difficulty in our family and around our ministry, and then you look at the world and the news and you know, like, it feels like the sky is falling, and yet it's broken, and yet God has called us to be builders. And I thought of Nehemiah, and I thought about this night of prayer that we're calling you to be a part of. And in Nehemiah, he says, you know, we need to rebuild this wall for the glory of God. We need to, for the protection of his people, for the good of the people in the city, we need to rebuild this wall. And there's just so much brokenness, and you don't have to look very far to see it. And I just think about our place in that, and I haven't always known it. I feel like I've searched for it. A lot of my life, I've looked for my place of what does it look like to build and rebuild and do that for the glory of God in my life with my gifts and my skills. And I picture all of us in our places as they're building back the wall. It's hard work, and the enemy is coming after them and trying to attack them for this work. And it says that in Judah it was said that the strength of those who bear the burdens is failing. There's too much rubble, and by ourselves we will never be able to rebuild this wall. A few weeks ago, I had this image in my mind, and it was the whole world, and it was all lit up. Every city in America, every nation in the world. And I knew that whatever it is that we're building here with IF, that it was in an effort to get to that image, that there would be leaders risen up in every city, in every nation in the world that will say, I'll take responsibility for my place. I'm going to gather and equip and unleash the people that God has put in my local context, in my sphere of influence. So God gives me this image of the world lit up, every nation and every city, and I know that by ourselves we will not rebuild the wall. We will not make a dent in the brokenness and the rubble that is absolutely crushing the people around us. We won't make a dent in it. And they're discouraged and they're depressed, and honestly I think that is where we find ourselves a little bit. We feel defeated, and there's a lot of us that have so much to give, and for some reason or another we're just shut down. And if all IF does, if it never makes a name for itself, and all that IF is for is to unleash you to your purposes and your callings and the things that you're supposed to be doing in your towns and in your homes and in your communities, amen. Let it be, because that is the heart of God. It isn't about building some movement or about the name or anything on this earth. It is about healing people and saving souls for eternity and building up the name of our God when the city is broken down and the walls are falling down. And Nehemiah, he rallies the people, and he says this. He says, I stationed the people by their clans. He puts them with their people in their places. And he says this, he says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of the enemy. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your brothers and your sons and your daughters and your wives and your homes. And that is what we will be about. We will find our place, take our place on the wall with our clan, with our people, and we're going to fight for our people. We're going to fight for their freedom. We're going to fight for our own freedom. We're going to fight that we don't stay in our bondage all the days of our life and get to heaven and go, oops, we missed it. We are going to now be free and set other people free, period. But that is something that is above human mindset or all of us determining in our will to go do something. That is us getting on our knees and saying, God, take whatever we have in this life and use it to build your wall, to heal your people, to restore your land for your name's sake. This is a movement of women that actually believe God at his word, that he could take us in our places and use us for his glory and the good of his people. That's what this is. And we want you to be part of it. Go grab whoever you can grab. Send out social media, spread the word, and say, come pray. Come pray that God would move in our city, in our neighborhood, in our school, whatever it is. Grab as many people as you can, get on your knees. And we want you to pray for God's kingdom to come and his will to be done on earth as it is in heaven, because we think it's possible if a generation across the world would lay out and say, I'm in. Take my life, use it however you want.